Developing right now, New York's top prosecutor is due in federal court today, but this time she's facing the judge as a defendant. Letitia James is set to be arraigned on mortgage fraud charges. Critics say this is the latest example of a revenge campaign led by the Trump administration. The White House is accusing James of being a, quote, dirty cop. NewsNation's Marcus Espinoza is live for us in New York City. Marcus, good morning to you. Letitia James is claiming the charges aren't valid because of who is prosecuting the case. What can you tell us about this?
Hey, Anna, good morning. Yeah, today is a big day, a lot of anticipation around this day. And you mentioned it there. Critics of this move say this is certainly a part of the revenge campaign from President Trump. But later today, New York State Attorney General Letitia James will appear before a U.S. District Court judge in Norfolk, Virginia later this morning. Her legal team has already filed a motion to have the charges dismissed, saying the interim U.S. attorney handpicked by President Trump to try the case wasn't installed properly. Lindsay Halligan has previously served as President Trump's personal attorney and doesn't have any experience as a prosecutor. She was appointed after two assistant U.S. attorneys were fired, one reportedly because they opposed James's indictment. The indictment accuses James of lying on a mortgage application in 2020, saying a house she bought in Norfolk, Virginia would be a second home for personal use. The government says it was really rental property and, quote, this misrepresentation allowed James to obtain favorable loan terms not available for investment properties. And if she's found guilty, Letitia James could face up to 30 years in prison, Anna, and a $1 million fine on each count. She's charged with bank fraud and making a false statement to a financial institution. James blasts the indictment as, quote, baseless, claiming the case is revenge for investigating and prosecuting the president, Anna.
Say this is small potatoes with charges like that, but others go, a rule's a rule. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to bring in former U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Virginia, John Fishwick. Nice to see you today. Do you anticipate anything unexpected?
Well, I expect Letitia James will enter a not guilty verdict today at the arraignment, and then they'll set a trial date, fairly promptly. But her legal team is going to file a flurry of motions. They're going to say that Lindsay Halligan is not a valid U.S. attorney and the charges should be dismissed. They're going to say the charges are vindictive, brought on by President Trump, and that they want to file all these motions. They're going to want to delay the trial, whereas DOJ is going to want to move forward. They're going to say it's a straightforward case of bank fraud. So I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth between the legal teams, but eventually there will be a trial in this case.
Okay, right. So she has been charged with bank fraud, falsifying statements to secure a home loan. What's the government need to prove here?
So the government's going to say you were dishonest when you applied for the mortgage in this case. You told the bank that you were going to live there, that this was a second home, when in fact you didn't live there. You rented it out to relatives, and in fact on your tax returns you took advantage of the rental income and you took advantage of the deductions, and so you never spent a night there, and so you were dishonest, and so you got a lower rate. You got a rate of 3.0% versus 3.8%. You made $19,000 over the life of the loan, and a jury's not going to like that. Juries say, look, I'm struggling to buy a home. I don't think somebody should get favoritism. So that's going to be DOJ's case. They're going to say it's straightforward on the documents. You fibbed to the bank.
All right. And what else can we expect from James' defense there? She has previously stated this is a targeted attack from the president, for bringing these charges against her, bringing charges previously against him. Is that going to impact things?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question. I think her legal team is going to be very much modeled after the James Comey legal team. They're going to say this is all vindictive, that these charges were not going to be brought. A previous U.S. attorney had refused to bring them, that President Trump put his thumb on the scale of justice, and that's why the charges were brought. DOJ is going to respond, hey, Trump didn't indict you, a grand jury indicted you, but that's going to play out over a number of months. I think those sorts of decisions by the judge are going to be appealed. That's going to delay the trial, but that's going to be the main focus. This is vindictive. This trial should not go forward. Ultimately, I think the trial is going to go forward, but there's going to be a ferocious legal battle between her legal team and DOJ over that issue.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.